Oh, hello, folks. Imagine that. Yeah, it's Dom Lawson here from Metal Hand Magazine. You probably can't see me very well. It's a bit dark, but anyway, whatever. You can fuck off, frankly. I'm not turning the main light on for your benefit, really. Where would the fun in that be? Yeah, because it's evening time, so you normally do this at during the day, but it's dark. So yeah, welcome to my room. I'm sitting on the bed today because it's late in the evening. It's about 11 o'clock, and I'm watching the Paralympics opening ceremony, which I've got to say is enormously fucking tedious. It's livened up a bit now, but the bit with all the teams coming in and stuff, fuck me, it's almost as boring as the Olympic ceremony, which was the same, but the costumes were better in the Paralympics one. But there you go. A few people making the effort, not many. Mexico, brilliant. They're all wearing different coloured shirts, so it was like somebody vomiting out of the television at you. It was brilliant. Which, incidentally, is what I did when I went to Mexico, so, you know, it's a nice symmetrical thing there. But anyway, I should talk about music, really, rather than talking about sport, because, frankly, who gives a fuck about sport? Really boring. Unless it's snooker or darts, obviously. Proper sports that you can do while you're drinking. Snooker's not a sport. Yes, it is. Shut the fuck up. So yeah, I'm sorry, I've had a drink. This is going to be one of those, isn't it? Yeah. In fact, have I done one drunk? Well, I'm not drunk. That would be a grotesque exaggeration, but I have had a couple of beers, and it's Polish beer. Might have to advertise on an Iron Sandwich. Iron Sandwich, sponsored by Tiski Polish beer. So yes, nearly 2 minutes already, and I've not even mentioned anything that's remotely interesting to anybody. Hang on a second. I'm just going to drink some bit more beer now. Oh look, there's Lord Coe. What a tosser. Right, so I'm going to talk to you about the new EP. I'm going to talk to you about an EP. So it should be, in theory, this should be a shorter Iron Sandwich. Just found a bit of rice on my laptop. How bizarre. New EP, there it is, by a British metal band that I really, really like. And new-ish, I suppose. They've been around about 5 years now. Maybe even longer than that. I'm not sure when they formed. Actually, I'll look it up on Wikipedia. That will definitely tell me the truth. Hang on. They were formed in 2004. Bloody hell, 8 years now. Right, so there you go. Anyway, yeah, before I tell you who it is, because you'll already know who it is. All right, it's Sacred Mother Tongue. There you go. You'll already know that because it will have said it on the thing, on Metal Hammer, wouldn't it? But one of the things that really winds me up about being somebody who writes about metal for a living in the UK press, and I imagine that other countries do this as well, it's just that rock and metal mags have a tendency to really build up a lot of really fucking mediocre bands, and certain magazines in particular, not the ones I write for, I hasten to add, but certain magazines are really guilty of this, because they're basically in cahoots with labels and PRs and all the rest of it, and a band looks the part and will obviously appeal to the demographic that reads their magazine, and so they just push them regardless of the quality of the music, and as long as they fit into some subgenre that's currently the trend or whatever, the actual quality of the music itself is kind of overlooked, and so the band could be amazing or they could be rubbish. I mean, Bring Me the Horizon, a great example of that. No criticism of what they're doing now. I'm not a big fan of Bring Me the Horizon at all. And I think Ollie Sykes is a woeful frontman, but musically they're okay now. I can live with their stuff. But their first album was terrible. It was a dreadful record. They were really, really, really poor, kind of like just imbeciles trying to play death metal and failing miserably. It was just really, really, really bad. But because they looked the part, they got vast amounts of press coverage. They had the haircuts and the stupid tattoos and everything. And it's really annoying. And the reason it's annoying, it wouldn't be annoying if the bands that actually deserved it, that had some kind of talent and credibility, actually got attention as well. And that's the thing. It's it's always been the case, I suppose. The image and the fucking the hype that goes with it is more powerful in many ways than the music the way things are media led, and the online hype is so easy to generate now anyway. And if you do look the part, you got a ready-made audience, and people want to be the first to be into a new band and blah blah blah. And it's really easy to manipulate a large audience to make them think that a band's fucking amazing when they're not. Asking Alexandria, a great example. Do really well in America. They're fucking awful, but because they haven't got a single decent song. And I have listened to their records, and it's like no. Just no. It's, style over substance and just awful. But anyway, Sacred Mother Tongue, who, are a little older than a lot of the bands that get hyped, I suppose. Well, certainly a couple of members of the band are a little older than the kids in their early 20s who are getting hyped up in other magazines than this one, than the one I work for anyway. But Sacred Mother Tongue, I thought they had something really quite special about them from the start, and I think they're, it certainly helps that they've got one of the best guitar players in the country in the band. Andy James is fucking amazing. I mean, if you're into your whittling the whole kind of, if you're a guitar player, I suppose, into playing metal and stuff, and into the kind of, guitar tuition DVDs and all that kind of stuff. Well, Andy James is a bit of a mini legend, I suppose, really. He's had 4 solo albums, largely instrumental solo albums, or maybe totally instrumental solo albums. And he's a fucking incredible guitar player. I mean, he's absolutely ridiculous. Very much in the John Petrucci kind of mould, but a master of most things that you can do on the guitar. And he writes a mean fucking riff. The rhythm section of the band are really underrated. Actually, I think I have to give props to them because Josh and Lee, who are the bass and the bassist and drummer in the band respectively, are really really solid. Really gifted musicians, and I believe that Lee, the drummer, has also been playing drums with Fields of the Nephilim, which kind of tells its own story. I love the Nephilim, so hats off for that. But anyway, so they're a very very talented bunch. But anyway, when I first heard them, I think I was sent prior to their first album coming out, I was sent an EP or something, and I thought it was great, and I mean in some ways they fit very much into that kind of modern metal thing of, a little bit metalcore, a little bit of traditional metal influences in there, a dash of Arch Enemy style tech traditional metal. Is that a thing? Tech traditional? Oh, fuck knows. It's kind of a mixture of a lot of modern styles of metal, and but it's very big on tunes and catchy riffs, and they're not proggy in the sense of going on long songs or anything like that, but it's kind of techy and kind of cool. But I thought, genuinely loved the first album, The Ruin of Man. Came out in 2009. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the production was a little weak for me. It's the only thing I criticise it for, but the songs themselves were great. I mean, I thought they were genuinely really good songs. I mean, you probably, if you follow these things, you probably know 2800, which was the single they had out, which is it's an anthem, and I don't know whether it's because they weren't on the right label. I mean, I'm not criticising the label they were on, obviously, but maybe had they been on a label like, I don't know, Visible Noise, or I don't know, fucking Roadrunner or something, where people were going to throw money at a promotional campaign, had they been hype, had they had the kind of hype that bands like Bring Me the Horizon and Bullet for My Valentine got, then maybe they would have got the attention they deserved. But for whatever reason, they didn't, and that's a shame, really, because I think that first album was great, and it certainly pisses all over anything Bullet for My Valentine have done. Although that's not hard, clearly. I mean, one of the great things about Sacred Mother Tongue is that their singer Darren South is a grown up, and that might sound like a kind of flippant, kind of facile thing to say, but he is. He's a grown up. He's a proper bloke, and he sings like a man. He doesn't sing like a whiny teenager, and then try and do some kind of I'm doing scary death metal growls, even though my balls haven't dropped yet. Hate all that stuff. Awful. It's fine. I don't mind the growling. Don't mind the extreme vocals, but when you then kick into the melodic part in that kind of kill switchy way, in that kind of metalcore, American metalcore way, they launch into the chorus and it just sounds like a boy band thing, you might as well be in bloody One Direction with vocals like that, Grow a pair of knackers, try and get a bit of stubble on your face and then give it a bash, and I think Bullet for My Valentine are responsible for a lot of that kind of stuff, it's bands that desperately want to be kind of rock stars, but don't know how to play anything other than kind of, metalcore stuff. So you end up with a lot of bands that really just don't. The singers just don't have it. It's just whiny and generic. And I mean, I love clean vocals. When people say, "Oh, did you hate clean vocals?" No, I love Ronnie James Dio and Bruce Dickinson and Rob Halford and David Coverdale and Ian Gillan. Clean vocals are ace. Nothing wrong with clean vocals. Just sound like a real man doing it. Don't sound like a child. Kind of bum fluff sporting man child. And it's that same thing. And melodically, I have a problem with that kind of stuff a lot of the time as well. It's like what Bullet for My Valentine do. Or did. You wait till their new album comes out. I bet you it sounds like bloody. Oh, let's not even go there. I'll just get angry. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, that kind of stuff where it's just so lazy. A lot of that stuff, and Sacred Mother Tongue, I think, are far better than that. And I say the first album had 3 or 4 absolute belters on it, and the rest of the tracks were great. But they're a really good live band as well. They've got a lot of energy. They're great musicians. They've got a bit of charisma going on, and I think they just need the right push. I've always thought they've been unfairly overlooked in favour of kind of trendier, more kind of whippersnapper bands that really don't deserve the attention, but will get it because they've all got the right haircuts. It's just what the fuck, honestly, unbelievable, really. Especially when certain elements of the it's terrible that I've had a drink anyway. Certain elements of the rock press will just bang on and on and on about bands, and it's just disingenuous bullshit because it's just really makes me angry. It's fucking bands getting pushed because they've got the right haircuts, nothing to do with the music at all, and you're being told this is one of the most exciting new bands in the world. It's not. They're not exciting. It's that the 14-year-old girls love them, because they're good-looking lads. Nothing wrong with that. It's been the same since the Beatles, good-looking bunch of lads will be a successful band if they get pushed in the right way, marketed properly. But don't tell me that their music's exciting when it's generic bullshit. Really, come on. So anyway, 12 minutes, still going on about stuff that's nothing to do with it. Sacred Mother Tongue have a new EP. It's called A Light Shines. The title I'm not sure about, okay? Of course a light shines, that's what a fucking light does. But anyway, it's probably deeper and I'm just being a superficial, shallow prick. Which is not unusual, let's face it. But it's got 4 tracks on it, okay? The first one, Evolve Become. The second one is called Bleeding Out. The third one's called 7. And then there's a live version of The City Is Crying, which is recorded live in China, if you can imagine that, which is bonkers balmy, really. But this is like a taster for the new album that comes out next year. I can't remember what the new album's called. I should know that, shouldn't I? Out of the Darkness, that's what it's called. So there you go. Brilliant. But the great thing about this EP is it really, really shows that Sacred Mother Tongue have totally stepped up. And I just hope to God that they get the attention they deserve. I mean, they've got EMI behind them now, which is great. So it's a proper label. Not that Transcend Music isn't a proper label, but, EMI has a lot of clout, so they can really throw their weight behind the band. The production on this EP is great. It's got a lot of balls to it. It's, really crisp and clear and heavy. The performances are great, but it's the songs. It's about the songs with this band. Darren South has a great voice. He's got a touch of the Maynard Keenan's about him, and he's screaming less, or maybe even not at all now. He did some screaming on the first album, some harsh vocals. Virtually no evidence of that at all on this EP. He just sings because he's got a great voice, genuinely great voice. And unlike a lot of the generic metalcore bands, he doesn't use the same bloody melodies. Tedious fucking pop-punk, post-punk, post-hardcore, not post-punk, that's Killing Joke, isn't it? Post-hardcore whiny shit. None of that. It's just really good tunes, I'd say that, there's shades of Tool or System of a Down, but just invented melodically, and combine that with Andy James' guitar playing, which is fucking amazing, as always, and a really tight rhythm section. I don't know, I can't fault it. These are really, really great songs, particularly Evolve Become, the first track. For me, the best thing they've recorded to date. I just think it's an absolute belter. The dynamics on it are fantastic. It's got a really killer chorus. It pisses all over all those half-wits I was talking about earlier. It's just a really good melodic metal track. And I know there will be people that will be like, oh no, I don't like it. It's not a banger or whatever. It's not fucking. It hasn't got a breakdown in it. I just don't care. Metal's not supposed to be about towing the line. It's supposed to be about writing songs. It always was when I was a kid, and it still is now. The best bands are great songwriters, and Sacred Mother Tongue are great songwriters. On this evidence, anyway, you know. And if Evolve Become is indicative of what the new album's going to be like, then it's going to be a fucking stormer. Really. I mean, the other two tracks, Bleeding Out and Seven, both brilliant. You know, really catchy, but really heavy, inventive in the guitar work, powerful. You know, it's just the sound of a good band becoming a great band, I think. And I think that's what it's heartening, you know, because I mean, I know the band, you know, I don't know them particularly well, but I know Darren quite well. And I even lumbered about on stage once when Darren was unable to attend a gig. I sang a Pantera song with them, which is awful. No, I was awful. I mean, they were great, obviously. But just, you know, so I've got a vested interest. I like the guys and I like the band a lot, but fuck it, you know, this is a British, you know, a young up and coming, I suppose, British metal band that we should really get behind and believe in, because they've got great tunes and he's a great singer and they've got a great guitar player and a great rhythm section. You know, they've got what it takes to, you know, they tick all the boxes that great metal bands should, and it's not about image and it's not about fucking, you know, flogging it to 14-year-old girls who won't give a shit about metal in 5 years' time. And if that's sexist, then fuck you. I don't care. It's 14-year-old boys, whatever, you know. You know, metal's inclusive, and it should appeal to all of us. It shouldn't just be about aiming at one demographic. It should be about appealing to metal fans. That's the point, you know. And a band like Sacred Mother Tongue, I think, you know, can unite, that cliche, uniting the tribes, you know. Don't see why they can't. You know, they've got the tunes. And it's not proggy, and it's not, you know, it's not left field, and it's just straight head metal. But it's really, really fucking solid and impressive straight head metal. And this EP, I really, really recommend it. I think, you know, go and check it out. Buy it, for God's sake. It's 4 tracks. It's going to cost you fuck all, really. Get it off iTunes, because I just think they're a great band. I really hope that this does it for them, because you know, they should be getting a lot of attention. You know, they're grown-ups. Don't be scared of a band because they're slightly older than you. Do you know what I mean? Fuck's sake. If we're all still listening to Maiden and Sabbath and Priest and Slayer and Metallica and all that, then why are certain elements of the press so scared of supporting a band that aren't a bunch of 20-year-old boys with nice haircuts? Why is that? It's very, very peculiar. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe it's just about money. Who knows? Maybe it's just about business and not about the music at all. Anyway, there you go. So, Sacred Mother Tongue, A Light Shines, out on EMI, Label Services. I believe it's out on Monday, September the 3rd. I fucking recommend it. Brilliant band, great songs, killer. And yes, I've had a drink. Fuck it, I'm going to have another one, look. Cheers. Shot of tequila. Anyone? No? You don't want one? Oh, I'll just have this one then. Cheers. Delicious. Well, actually, it's not very delicious. It's cheap tequila. Yeah. But there you go. So cheers for watching this. Yeah, buy Sacred Mother Tongue's new EP. That's my advice to you. The Paralympics thing's still going on. It's like a giant fucking electric hedgehog. I should really get... No, maybe there isn't. I should put my glasses on. I can't really see what's going on. There's a big flag now. Load of people. No idea what's happening. Anyway, it's probably all moving and Team GB and whatever. So that's good. This is the longest one ever, isn't it? Fucking hell. It's only an EP. So yeah, cheers. Thanks a lot. And what was I talking about again? No idea. Right, cheers. Bye. See you. Bye. Cheers.